Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. It is 8:30 on Friday night, March the 13th, and the Gala of Peace for Realmathon just started about an hour and a half ago. I'm a little behind already, and so the Gala of Peace is apparently like a 48-hour readathon this weekend, and so I decided let's just do a 48-hour readathon. I've never done one before, and I'm kind of nervous. I don't know how this is gonna go. Most of the time, probably not very well, but I have picked out a bunch of stuff. If you didn't know, I am kind of casually partaking in Realmathon this year. I did join the Mages team. It's kind of been really fun. Mages is really cute. I have picked out quite a few books. Because I'm on the Mages team, I do have two specific team prompts, and those are foiling on the cover and taking place in a school setting, which was actually really hard to find because I've read most of my books that take place in a school setting. So there is that, because that's one of my favorite things. For foiling, we're gonna go through that because I did actually look up Jensen's TBR for this readathon, and specifically for this prompt because Jensen is the one who picked that prompt. So I decided to go with what she said is foiling because foiling is a little back and forth about what actually is foiling, because to me foiling is, it's kind of what you find on the special editions where there's kind of like a depression in, I don't know if I actually have any special foiled ones here. No, I don't, because all of my special editions have been like reserved for other videos. Or I guess, okay, hold on. No, I do have foiling right here. Okay, this is my special edition of Prison Healer. So this is kind of what you think about when there's foiling. It's kind of like a depression, and it's like added foiling on there. Now, there is like, let me see. There is like metallic printing. So I wasn't exactly sure, like you can see that's like foiling, but it's really like metallic printing. So I wasn't sure that actually counted, but Jensen actually counts that in her TBR in her video. So I'm gonna go ahead and count that because you can see up there too. That's like metallic printing, but she counted stuff like this as foiling. So I'm gonna count that as foiling. And I kind of agree with that because foiling is generally just on special editions unless it's on the hardback. So that would be a really, really hard prompt. So we're counting that. So don't come in the comments and say it's not foiling. It counts. Any shiny material printed on the cover is going to count as foiling for this. And also Jensen said that under the dust jacket does count as well. So that's why I have this one. We have the foiling under the dust jacket, which she said counts as on the cover. So that is going to be counting for some of these books. Basically, I chose a bunch of books that can at least fit one, hopefully two bonus prompts plus being read during the Gala of Peace. So I am going to be trying to read as many books as possible between now and the end, which I think is Sunday at 7 p.m. I believe. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. I will let you know when it actually ends. So I do have some here. I decided to do spinner wheel because I do have a lot of options, and I think a spinner wheel is going to make this kind of fun instead of me just picking books. But there are a couple that I will prefer over others because I put some more difficult ones on here and then I put some really, really easy ones on here. Some of these I can get through really, really fast. Some of these may take the whole 48 hours. So what I think we're going to do is actually spin for two options and go from there and kind of switch between the two, because if I'm having trouble with one, then I can switch to the other one and vice versa. So that's what I think we're going to do just to make things a little bit easier and give myself some options. What we have next to me, because I do have some stuff next to me and then some stuff on the wheel that I just like didn't get from around the house. So like I said, I do have the Prison Healer. This actually would be a reread, but I really need to reread this to continue in the series. So I wouldn't mind this. And so this one actually has Trials, which is a overall Realmathon bonus prompt. And this one has the foiling on the cover, which is a Mages specific prompt. So that would be 20 points. Plus if we finish in the Gala of Peace, that would be 30 bonus extra points. Then we have the Blood Trials. This one doesn't count for too much, but I wanted to like fill the wheel. So I think this is still a good option. And it's one that I've been wanting to read for a really long time. So obviously there are trials, so that would count for the overall readathon bonus prompt, but I don't think it counts for anything else because there is no foiling and there is no school setting that I know of. Next, we have the Night Prince. This is definitely one I want to get because I think I can read this one super, super, super fast. And this one, there's no foiling on the front, but there is foiling on the hardback. And so that one does end up counting for the foiling. And this, there's no anything else though, so this one would just be like a really fast read, just counting for bonus for foiling. Similar to this is Trial of the Sun Queen. There's no extra thing happening here besides this is Trials, so this would only count for the readathon overall bonus prompt. Then we have the Revenant Games. This is, it just said it. This is the one that was kind of confusing me whether it counted as foiling or not when I went to go see Jensen's video, but based on her picks, this does count. So Revenant Games would count for foiling, which is the Mages prompt. It has Trials/Games, competition, there you go. It's Trials/competition. So this would count for the overall readathon prompt. This is an interesting one. I forgot this existed in my house. So I got a lot of comments after reading Alchemized and DNFing the irresistible urge to fall for my enemy. Fall for my, I can't do that title, the Dramini fanfictions, and I got a lot of comments about people wanting me to read Rose in Chains. And so what I didn't tell everybody is I actually did own a copy of Rose in Chains because I originally was going to do a video with the 3 of those, but because I didn't enjoy Alchemized or the whatever irresistible urge, I was like, I don't really want to read it. I don't really want to read it. And I don't want to like just keep talking about this subject. But I got so many comments saying that it was unfair that I read those 2 and I didn't critique this one as well and talk about whether it was similar or not. So this is on here. There is lots of foiling. I don't think it fits for anything else, but I know a lot of the hosts actually have read this and really liked this. So this is going on there. Not super excited to read this one, but I do feel bad that I read the other 2, and a lot of people were asking me to read this to critique it like I did the other 2. So this is more of a critique standpoint, just adding this on there. And then I just happened to have foiling and I forgot that it existed. Then we have Mirror of Beasts. This one is primarily foiling, so I don't think it counts for anything else. There's not a competition or schools or anything. So I just really need to finish this because this is the second in a duology. And obviously it counts for foiling. Then I think this is going to be a really good one to pick up because it is incredibly short. It also has foiling. I think it has foiling. Yeah, it's got the Allurial foiling on there. And this is a dystopian book that I am so excited to read. I have 3 copies of this, so I better like this book. This might also be a 5-star by some of the hosts. I don't know if it is or not, but I think it only counts for foiling, so it will only count for that mage bonus prompt. Then we have the Sunbearer Trials. I've had this one for a really long time. It sounds really, really good. We have foiling, and obviously there are trials, so there'll be 2 bonus prompts. And I think that's it. I don't think there's a school in this one, so just those 2. And here's the big ones. Here's the big ones. Half City. We have foiling around the leaves or flowers, and I do believe it takes place in a school, and Harker Academy, and I think it also is a competition. This is the one that is scoring lots of points, lots of big points, so this is one that would be nice to get to, but it wouldn't suck to not get it here because it's already scoring so many other bonus points. It wouldn't be a bad thing for this one not to get in this one, obviously. And then the other one that's scoring major points, it has the same exact point as that, although I think it's longer, like it's huge, so it counts for a lot of points. But we have foiling on the cover, we have school, and we have a trial, so it counts for everything. So let's see, did I miss anything? Because I do have other things on here, but I think that was pretty much everything. Oh, I accidentally put a double on here, so if I get a free space, I'm just gonna pick one. Okay, so I do have a free space on here because I totally missed it. Oh yeah, I added Legend that is back there somewhere. I think it's literally, oh no, okay. I hate doing this. It's literally right there. It's got foiling all over it. And it's very short. So I kind of just added that one on here. I think that's the only one I didn't pick up. Oh, Emily Wilde, foiling. That's it. But I really, really want to reread Emily Wilde, and I think it would be a fast read. And that is it. So if I do get the free space, I will just pick whichever one that I want to read, which will most likely end up being The Night Prince because I think I'll read that one the fastest. Without further ado, oh, you can see me in the reflection. Without further ado, let's spin the wheel. Okay, you should be able to see it like that. It's always so loud. We got the Revenant games. Okay, I think that will work. That is both foiling and trials or competition. So that is that one. I actually don't know much about this one, but I've heard really good things about it. So we're gonna go read the Revenant games. I will update you pretty early on to kind of get an idea of what the book is about. Of how I completely just forgot to spin for the second book, even though I said I was gonna spin for 2 books. I feel like I have the memory of a rock some days. But anyway, it is about midnight, and I have read 120 pages of the Revenant game. And you know what? Kind of having a great time. Kind of having a fantastic time. It feels like a mix between the Hunger Games and Twilight, which is wildly entertaining. It's not very good. It's very already kind of insta-lovey feeling, but there's something about this that is like itching my brain the right way. Like arguably, this is not great. I mean, it's itching my brain the same way that Silver Elite and Conform did, which are arguably not very good books, but are wildly entertaining. So I'm having a great time with this. Oh yeah, sorry, it is late, so you're gonna hear my husband in the background probably. The F1 qualifier, I just watched the sprint, but the F1 qualifier is at 2:15. I don't know if it's 2:15 or 2:45. So I might try to stay up to watch that, and if I do, I'm probably just gonna be reading this kind of during those 2 hours, because like I said, I think it's 11:45 midnight. So yeah, I'm kind of having a great time. And this is like one of those things where it's like, I love reading a book like this, where it's like not great, but my brain is really enjoying it. It's almost like a vacation for my brain, where I'm not having to try too hard. Like when I read Meet the Newmans, that's a really, really good book in my eyes. I noticed a lot of people didn't like it. The ratings weren't that great, but in my eyes, it's a really good book. There's a lot of commentary. There's a lot of substance to that book. And it takes a lot of brain power to get through something like that. This one, not a lot of brain power, but I'm enjoying it. So I feel like it's kind of like The Wolf King. The Wolf King was very, very entertaining. Not a ton of substance to it, but it was very entertaining. And I feel like there's just those degree of books. So I love reading a book like Meet the Newmans. I love getting that 5-star book. Also love reading just a fun book that is just a silly, goofy time for my brain. So I'm having a great time. This is following our main character, Bri. See, I literally, Bly. You can also tell it's midnight. Following our main character, Bly, who lives in this like village. The world is very obscure. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what's going on, but she lives in this like village that is stuck between 2 different cities. One city is the witch city, one city is the vampire city, which I think is kind of interesting. And they're both super evil. The point is that there's been war like between the witches and the vampires. There's also been war between them and the humans. And basically to keep from the humans taking over everything, the witches and the vampires have banded together to basically oppress the humans, and they created this games to keep the humans distracted and happy. And so if you work for the vampires and catch a witch for the vampires, then you get changed into a vampire. If you work for the witches and capture a vampire for the witches, because there's something to do with power stuff, then you can bring back a loved one from the dead. So that's kind of like the purpose of why you would enter these games. So it definitely keeps a lot of people distracted, because you have either immortality or you have bringing someone back from the dead. Very interesting. Like, it's very different than what I'm used to. So they have to enter these games. So she decides to enter these games for reasons that I can't tell you, obviously, because of spoilers. I don't know if it's actually in the synopsis, but I'll just avoid saying it. And she has to work with her best friend, who she's also in love with. Obviously, that's probably most likely not the romance. Like, it's very, very obvious early on that that's not the romance. And it does turn into a very Twilight feeling-esque romance situation that's happening right now. So I'm having a great time. Right now where I'm at, we're actually in the vampire area, and it's actually kind of like fascinating, entertaining. So I'm live, laugh, loving reading this book right now. So let's spin for another book just in case, because if I like get really far into this one, I kind of want to take a break, I can switch to that one. I do need to write a different book on here. I think what I'm gonna do, instead of replacing it with another big book, I'm gonna start replacing these with novellas to be sneaky. So I think I'm gonna replace the Revenant game with the Two Can Play, the really short Allie Hazelwood, because if I finish that, extra bonus points, 10 bonus points on a really short book, and I can finish that this weekend, I think that'd be really smart. So let me find my marker. I don't know where I put it. I think I literally threw it somewhere because I didn't think about it. Would you believe that I was actually sitting on the marker? It's totally believable. Okay, let's spin. I'm kind of hoping for Two Can Play, but we'll see. What is that? Emily Wilde. Okay. I'll take Emily Wilde. I don't think that's actually a bad spin. Very, very different from the Revenant games, so I think I can get there pretty fast. So I guess we'll pick up Emily Wilde. A little bit later than I was hoping for on Saturday. It's actually 4:55, so about 5 o'clock. I have officially finished, where did I put it? I have officially finished my first book, and that is the Revenant games, and I actually really enjoyed this. I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I don't think it's like the best executed book. I actually think there were quite a few plot holes. Like certain characters would be dead like many times over if these things were actually happening. So like there's multiple points that our main character Bly would have died in situations, but because of the plot armor of her being our main character, she definitely didn't die in those situations, but probably should have. So arguably not the best executed, but I kind of love the story. I also love where the book ended up and where we're going in the second book. I actually did order the second book. No bookstores around me. My indie stores, my Books A Million, my Barnes & Nobles, none of them have the second book in hardback or even paperback. I did end up having to order it, but it should be here in the next couple of days. So I do plan to read the second book when it comes because I actually really enjoyed this. I had a great time just having a silly, goofy time because, again, I don't think this is necessarily good, but it is one of the first travel stories I've actually really enjoyed. And I think it's because I just like vampires. Like, I like witches and I love vampires. So it's the story of witches and vampires. And to be honest, it wasn't even really about the romance. Like, I was not invested in the romance. I thought the romance could have been done better or wasn't even in here. I just like the general story and the drama that was happening. And I thought the magic system was actually kind of cool in this. It was a little bit different than I'm used to. So yeah, I kind of had fun with this. I would not go out of my way to like recommend this one to people. I don't think this is a duology. I haven't read the second one obviously, but I don't think this is going to end up being a duology I'm really going to remember a lot, but I did enjoy it like for what it is. So I am happy I ended up getting to this. And so we read the Revenant games and it is still the Gala of Peace. Like I said, it is 4:57 now. So I'm really hoping I have time to read at least one more, but I'm trying to cram 3 in here. So we need to do the spinner wheel again because I'm not sure if I'm in the mood for Emily Wilde. So I want to spin again, but first let's look at the prompts. So the Revenant games, we did read it during the Gala of Peace. We read it is a competition, so they are like battling each other. There was no school or academic setting. There is foiling on the cover. So when we look at the positive ones, I would say it was a fast-paced read. I think even if I wasn't trying to read it in this 48 hours, it was very fast-paced. Something was always happening. There was no multiple point of views. I read an ebook last time. I read this one ebook, so that's not different format. This is not backlist. I don't think this is a backlist book. Not dystopian. See, it's randomize your TBR with a die. I didn't do a die, so I'm not going to count it. Structural openings on the cover. I actually would count that because there is like a village up here and there are a lot of windows. So I actually would count that as structural openings. So I am going to count that one. Second chances, no. Okay, that's everything. So just a fast-paced read and structural openings on the cover for positive prompts. For negative prompts, I would say that is a gorgeous book. That's actually why I bought it. Read using electronics. I read my Kindle, started a series, and there is a character with a hidden identity. I wasn't sure about that one, and then, yeah, no, there's definitely a character. It's not the main character, but there is a character with a hidden identity. So I think it's just those 4. So I don't think it makes that much of a difference because most of the prompts were 1-pointers. So doing the math, there's like a little like thing spreadsheet in the Discord that they shared. So I can't do the math myself. So according to this spreadsheet, my always defensive points are 50 because it was 403 pages. So I had 40 points plus I think one of the normal prompts, but then I also had the extra readathon prompt, which was competition, and I had the Gala of Peace prompt, which is another 10 points. So my total defense points, if I go with those 2 defensive prompts, is going to be 74 points, which is a lot. Attack points would be 26. So you'd get defense 50, attack 26. So technically you would want to do attack because it is 2 extra points, but I really like defensive better, and I have mostly been doing attack. I've been specifically attacking generally the paladins because Mel's team I think has won multiple years, so I've been specifically trying to make sure that Mel doesn't win again. I know the mages are last too, which is really sad, but oh well. I mean, it's all fun and games. I don't mind if we come in last. I know a lot of people will, but for me it's just fun and games. But I have been mostly attacking the paladins, but I think I've attacked the rogues once and the clerics once as well, and the paladins a couple times, but I think I'm just gonna go defensive. So I'm gonna end up putting that in, so it's probably about 74 points defensive, and now we're gonna roll for our next book. So we are probably wanting a shorter one that maybe fits more prompts. but I don't know. Like, that's one of the problems with the spinner wheel. But also, I don't want to be like purposely picking a book just for the prompts because it's such a pain in the butt. Because I tried doing that with my TBR earlier this month, and I was like, no, this is too hard. This is too hard. So let's see what our other option is besides Emily Wilde. What is it? I can't tell. The Blood Trials. Ooh. I don't think that's going to be a fast-paced book. And that one doesn't have like foiling or anything on it. I'm gonna spin one more time. We're gonna pull the Blood Trials. I think I have it right here because it is still Trials, but it is really, really long. But I'm gonna add it to one of my options with Emily Wilde. But yeah, okay. Let's see one more, see if we get a little bit of a better one. I would have laughed. The Night Prince. We're going with the Night Prince. We're going with the Night Prince because I think, maybe, because it is a sequel, I might not like it as much as I like the first one, so I might not read it as quickly. So we'll see. But right now we are going to be looking between Emily Wilde, #1, The Night Prince, and Blood Trials. So one of those we will be reading. I do think it most likely will be the Night Prince, but we'll see. We have surprisingly actually finished the Night Prince. I do wish that I had taken my time a little bit more with this one. And this is the problem that I have with 48-hour readathons, 24-hour readathons, just short spans of time, is that I don't love rushing books. Like, that's when I feel like I don't enjoy books as much. And I'm still giving this a 4-star. I actually really liked this. Hello, Plots. I was complaining about from the first book. This is the second book in the Wolf King series. And this one, I really can't talk about it because obviously it's sequel, but it's so much better than the first one. There is so much more plot, so much more character growth. We definitely are going in the direction that I want the romance to go into. So obviously I'm enjoying that significantly more, but it's still being very slow burn with that romance. Like, we are still not fully exploring that romance and we're 2 books in. So I'm kind of liking that. So I'm nervous at the same time though, because we could always go back to what we were doing before. I don't see that being a thing. I hope not. I will be very grumpy if we get to this 3rd book and we go back to like the original romance. I will be very mad. Anyway, this was so much better. I did not love the dream sequences. I'm never a dream sequence girl where you're like in each other's dreams and you're experiencing things. And it happened a lot throughout this book. And it had a very hallucinogenic effect where I was like, is this happening? Is this not happening? And I don't love that vibe. This one had a lot of plot. Was it still like great? No, we had a lot of Helen of Troy situations here where everybody is obsessed with our main girly. It does make a little bit more sense now why that's the case, but it's still very Helen of Troy, a face that launched 1,000 ships, aka in this one, a face that launched 1,000 alphas. So that's my only thing, is like everyone is obsessed with her. And I never like a plot where every man and their brother wants to date her. I'm never the biggest fan of that. That's like my biggest qualm with this one, but the plot was so much better. We've added so much intricacy to the plot. We've actually added a plot. And I think that's what's crazy, because in the first one, there just really wasn't a plot. And I don't know if when she wrote that first book, she had this book planned out, because this feels a little fly by the seat of your pants kind of situation where it was like, okay, we like kind of brought up a couple of little things in the first book in The Wolf King, but in this one, it was like a fully, oh my god, there's like this overarching evil kind of situation happening. There's like a lot going on, but I feel like we didn't really explore any of that in the first book. So I don't know how much the first book really was planned out with the rest of the series. So I am curious about that. I'm curious if she just wrote the first book and then it like did well, and then she was like, oh, I gotta plan the rest of the series out. Because again, what happens in this is just so different than anything that happened in the first book. Like, it's very, 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 very different. So I'm glad though, because I actually like the plot. I think it's really interesting and I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm gonna give it a 4-star, and let's see what points we can get. So there is foiling on this one. Like I said, Jensen she's the one who came up with the prompt, and she said that foiling on here counts because otherwise this doesn't have foiling. It just has gloss on it. So we do have foiling. There was no trial or competition, and there definitely was no school setting, so I don't get bonuses for that, but we did read it through the Gala of Peace. Unfortunately, it's already 2 o'clock on Sunday. I did end up reading 2 very chunky books. I probably should have just read a bunch of short stuff, but I don't know. I'm not gonna purposely go out of my way to read like a bunch of short things. It would have been smart, but I mean, I never claimed I was that smart. So I do have a plan for the rest of the 5.5 hours, I guess. Okay, so The Night Prince, it was 489 pages. I did listen to it on audiobook. Like I said, kind of wish I had read it physically. That's the problem with these 48-hour readathons. I did rush through it. I think I would have enjoyed it even more if I had read it. So this may be something that I actually reread or at least skim through before the next book comes out. So I read it through the Gala of Peace. It does have foil on the cover, and I have a couple of low ones for the positive points, but I think this is going to end up being an attack prompt because it fits way more. So this one definitely fits read a recent haul instead of your TBR, correct. More pages than your last book. My last book was The Revenant Games, which was, what was The Revenant Games? 403, so this one's 489, so that does count. So we have that. A character with a hidden identity. There is definitely a hidden identity in this book. Read a book in one sitting. I definitely read it in one sitting. And then there is an icon between the title and the author on the spine. So we have that right there. So I would count that as an icon between the title and the author. So that gives us 50 defensive points and then 25 attack points. I think I'm going to go ahead and just do it against the Paladins. Again, I am Mel's team. I don't, that's the problem, that we don't have any standings. I wish we had some standings, but I'm just going to guess that Mel's team is doing really, really well. So they're gonna think I have some sort of vendetta against them, but it's just because she won last year and was very confident. So we're gonna have that against the Paladins. So 50 defensive points for the mages and 25 attack points against the Paladins. So next up, I think we might try to complete. I think we're gonna look for shorter things, maybe, because again, like I said, I did roll for Emily Wilds, which is a shorter book, and it is a reread, and it does have foiling on the cover, because that's the problem. This one's not going to fit any other bonus prompts. However, this one's so short, I'm not getting a lot of page points for this one, so those bonus gala points, those 10 points, would be really, really good for this. So we might try to play, and I think I can get through this really fast. Only 189 pages, and I've been really wanting to read this. So I think we're going to try this one. I don't think there's anything else that really stands out to me that's really short. Let's go read Two Can Play. I have heard mixed results about this one, so I'm curious how I'm going to feel about one of her novellas, because I've yet to read any Allie Hazelwood novellas yet. Read this book insanely fast. It's actually 8 o'clock now. I'm probably actually closer to 9, but I did actually finish this around 4 o'clock. I think it only took me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to read this book. But then after I finished this, I promptly fell asleep until like 6 o'clock and then did dinner and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't have time to update or do anything else between the time that I finished it and now. Yeah, so I actually really like this. I think this was really, really cute. I'm actually going to give it 4 stars, which is actually way higher than the average. I think it's like a 3.52. And the thing is, I do agree with the critiques that it is obviously very short. But I mean, I knew that going into it. I knew this wasn't going to have a fully perfectly developed relationship that I would like want actually from a romance book, but this still had such Allie Hazelwood vibes. And I think the reason I love this so much is that the 2 main characters and the vibes between them reminded me of like the original Allie Hazelwood books, because I'm definitely the past couple Allie Hazelwoods just have not been hitting for me. I think I gave The Love Hypothesis a 5, then the second one was like a 4, then the third one was a 5, and then I think the last 2 were a 3 and a 3.5. So I just like haven't been vibing as much. Like, I'm still enjoying them. Don't get me wrong. I'm still enjoying them. But the vibes are different in her more recent books. Not Problematic Summer Romance. I haven't read that one yet. I don't know if the vibes are going to be similar to the book that goes with that one. Yeah, so this felt closer to what I originally loved about Ali Hazelwood, and I'm so disappointed that a video game story is the one that she picked for her novella and is not a full-length book. I'm so upset that this is not a full-length book. Like, I'm like kind of actually devastated because I loved the video game aspect of this. I would say actually the first 50% of this book was a 5-star. Like, easy, hands down, obsessed with 5-star. I read this completely in one sitting, as in did not stop reading for a second. I read all 173 pages. Just nonstop. Which, you know, is a tough thing for me to do. I rarely do that. Normally I have to take a lot of breaks. This one I didn't want to put down, and I actually probably am going to pick up Problematic Summer Romance next just because I'm jonesing for more Ali Hazelwood. Yeah, so this is following our main character, who is a video game creator, and they end up having to go on this retreat. Love the setting. Think the setting is perfect for a novella. And she has like this grudge kind of thing against this guy from a rival company, and the two companies are going to go on this retreat together because they have to work together. And obviously there's misunderstandings. There's lots of pining, which I love. I think Ali Hazelwood is a master at pining. And it's just a lot of fun. Again, I obviously think it needed more time for the romance to develop. It does get very, very, very sex heavy at the end of the book. And I actually kind of wish that it didn't go that direction, but that was literally the point of this. If it hadn't gone that direction, I actually think I would have given it a 5-star, because the development of the relationship was actually really good. Like, it actually did a lot in 100 pages. I could not believe how much ground we covered in that much time. But then it really did just devolve immediately into a lot of sex and into an immediate connection. Like, I wanted there to be a little bit more tension after, like, she realized he liked her, or he was more trying to get her attention, something like that. There just needed to be a little bit more interaction between them before the romance started. But again, you can only expect so much from a 170-page book. So I am obviously being a little more lenient with this one. I think if this was a full-length book that made me feel this way, it would be closer to a 3 or 3.5. But because I knew what to expect going into this, I knew it wasn't going to give me everything that I wanted. It is a 4-star romance novella. Like, it did what it possibly could do in such a small amount of time. So, loved these characters. Desperately wish that this was a full-length book. I'm very upset that this is not a full-length book, and I will be reading Problematic Summer Romance next. But anyway, that's everything for this video, this little 48-hour readathon. It was very tiny. This is just like a cute little short vlog that I wanted to read a couple of things in. So we read The Revenant Games. It is downstairs. I don't have it with me. But that was good. It was 3.5. I actually just got the second book. The second book showed up today. I do plan to actually continue it so I don't forget, because again, it's going to be one of those books that I'm going to forget pretty easily, but I'm enjoying the experience of reading it. So I think it's called The Hollow Hunt, I think. So I'm going to read that probably next with Problematic Summer Romance. And then we read The Night Prince, which I did give 4 stars. I think it was better than The Wolf King. I wish I had taken my time reading this one. But this is a really, really good follow-up to The Wolf King. I saw a lot of development in the writing. I saw a lot of development in the characters. I just felt like there was a lot of growth that came from this book. And then obviously, like I just said, we read Two Can Play. I'm giving it a 4-star, and I can actually see myself rereading this because it was just so cute and I really enjoyed this one. So that is everything that I read for our little 48-hour readathon. Definitely let me know if you guys participated in the readathon and did a little 48-hour readathon, what you plan to read for the rest of the month for Realmathon or not, just what you want to read. If you made it this far, I would say, I know I just did a heart emoji, but let's leave a pink heart in the comments down below if you made it this far. Just let me know that you were here. And yeah, make sure you subscribe so you miss any future content. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.